Cejudo was weighing in on Chimaev. Now, Henry had a very interesting perspective. His perspective was quite simple, that Chimaev is about to be in a number one contenders match with Diaz. If Chimaev wins and Diaz goes into a different promotion, Henry is arguing, or at least suggesting, that Chimaev used that golden ticket of number one contendership at 185 pounds. That I'm the number one contender. I get to fight for a world championship. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to cash this in to the winner of Pereira and Adesanya. Does it work that way? We've never seen it work that way. I must tell you, though, on a personal note, I like Henry's theme. Chimaev has bounced around those weight classes. He settled in and chose 170 pounds. I don't know why. Personal note, I don't know why. I liked it at 185. Now, if he's going for the champ, which was a narrative at the time that he zeroed in at 170, they need to get him a ranking. To get him a ranking, they need to establish him. To become a number one contender, right, there's an order of things. You got to get a ranking before you can become a number one contender, before you can fight for a championship. These are rules that we fiercely adhere to as we make them up on the spot, but this is the way that it tends to go. So a guy's got to settle in, identify a division. That was done at 170 pounds. I didn't love it. Just on a personal note, as a guy who's changed weight classes, that understands as time goes on, we don't get smaller, beating the scale and the lifestyle that comes along with making welterweight, it's just not pleasant. It's all part of the sport. I'm not begrudging or griping about something. I'm sharing with you. Chimaev looked as though he could have equal success at 170 and 185. I think he should have chose 85. One guy's opinion. But he did it, he chose 70, so Henry talked about that too. Henry said Chimaev has a very hard time making 170 pounds. He'd be more comfortable at 185, go do the Diaz fight, get this golden ticket notice number one contendership, and then cash in against either Pereira or Adesanya, which, by the way, Chimaev happens to match up really well against. I haven't heard anything here that I disagree with. But is that the way it works? Right? Is that the way that it works? And who knows what somebody was told? If Chimaev was told, beat D, accept this fight, come and do this match, 25 minutes. I know we've told you that you're going to be number one contenders matches before. I know they're with higher ranked guys. I get what you're thinking. This probably, yes, it is. Come and do this. This is the shine that we need. This is the match that we need you for. Now, that could still be honored. You could even have Kamaru Usman fight Leon Edwards next and still honor a number one contendership. I'm throwing Chimaev out, right? I get that Chimaev's got his hands full. I'm just, to speak to Henry's point, he's got to wait. Hey, we're going to do that match, just like we told you. You're just going to have to wait. Well, all of a sudden, you're talking 2023, you get reminded that Chimaev's a young guy. I want to remind everybody that one of the great marketing that I've ever seen in the sport, known as the Chimaev experiment, was running him out there as quickly as possible. Chimaev became the closest thing to Cowboy Cerrone 2.0 in terms of schedule that we've ever seen. That got taken away. I wish that it hadn't. I love the idea of putting him out there. I love that they were bouncing around weight classes. I get for professionalism, and I get for sustainability, that people do need to be treated levelly the same. You can't just have this one guy that's bouncing around. I understand those things. But I would also disagree that every now and then you do have an anomaly. Chimaev didn't elect to come to the sport and get some special treatment or some special deal. He ended up the guy that got to run out there more often than other guys and do it in different weight classes for being willing and being in the right place at the right time and willing to do the heavy lifting. He earned it. He didn't get he's got some relationship or he's got a friend on the second floor at the UFC. He went and earned it. I think he should have been able to run with it. I like what Henry's saying. I don't see another 185-pounder that is clamoring for that spot. The idea of Paulo Costa just by example versus Pereira just by example, and I'm throwing Pereira in there just to give you parity, to give you a match that you haven't seen before. I love it. But we don't have Paulo Costa currently under contract. If we get that worked out, we get that smoothed out, we get Paulo Costa back, does he move right into a world title fight? It's an interesting spot. It's an interesting proposition. I'm interested in what Henry's saying, not only for this one situation, for overall, as an overall policy. If a guy tries to have a golden ticket and cash it in somewhere, can he do it? I started a routine 2012. I was the number one contender at 185 pounds. And there was something called UFC Tonight, but it was a massive show for our industry. It was on Fox. And I said, I am the number one contender, but George St. Pierre and Jon Jones, I have not yet decided who I'm going to fight. I haven't decided where I coined the phrase, I'm going to cash in this golden ticket. And I got a response from St. Pierre and I got a response from Jon Jones, and I went and fought Anderson just as scheduled. I'm just sharing for you that the theme and the idea that Henry's going behind, I don't hate it. I don't. And I realize you can't do it time and time again. I'm speaking specially and specifically for Chimaev. There was massive talking. You got to understand the time frame. This whole diatribe will make more sense if you understand the time frame. That Chimaev is going to be the 70-pound champ. He's going to be the 85-pound champ. He's going to be the 205-pound champ. He's going to do champ, and he's going to be the first to do it. And then you had guys that were backing him up. You have guys like Gustafsson, who's in the division and matters at 205 pounds. And Gus is saying, yeah, my teammate over here, he can do it. I mean, this was a real talk and this was a real thing. So, okay, great. We're going to settle him at 170 just to preserve the notion and preserve the idea of champ. Just so that can even be possible, we're going to put him at 170. That's what it appeared to be. I never loved that idea. I did support it at the time very much, that if he's going to go do this champ, if that's what this whole thing is about, that we've never seen a guy go from 85 down to 70 and then bounce up, that he's going to have to start at 170. I am on record of that. Don't think that you have to correct me. But I like what Henry's saying. And I think we have a unique problem. We, the audience, have been told that Diaz versus Chimaev winner will become the number one contender. We've been told that, but we're also armed with the fact that Diaz, who has a 50% chance of winning that fight, isn't even under contract. I mean, this is one of those things where fulfilling what we were told is much more of an idea and an intent. I intend, I will try, I will do my best, I will do my part in. Would all be more accurate verbiage than this is going to happen when it's something outside of your control. So what would happen? What do you guys say? Because Chimaev versus Adesanya, I mean, this is the day-old question. This is striker versus grappler. This story has worked back to 1993. The first time they ever set up this octagon in some place called Mobile, Alabama, is what this whole thing was about. It has worked every Saturday night since then. And the same would go for Pierre. And not to mention, I don't see other people nudging themselves into that spot. George Masvidal, a veteran of the game, very wisely inserted himself into Leon Edwards' business a week ago, hedging his bet that Leon was going to pull an upset. Very wise and calculated move by George Masvidal, but I don't see anybody doing that. Not only to Adesanya, who's a current champion, I don't see anybody trying to attach himself to Pierre. On the outside shot, the Pierre gets the win. I'm going to have something. I'm going to have it go. I don't see guys trying to nudge into their business. I just don't. I also don't believe that Chimaev, when presented with that opportunity, is going to back down. I don't think that you guys think you would either. Not the way we do things. It isn't the policy over here. You don't have a golden ticket. You can cash it in anywhere you want, but maybe you should. If Chimaev wins, we, the audience, are told that he's the number one contender. We know that Colby Covington is the number one contender and the clearest number one contender there is. And we cannot deny Kamaru Usman, who is just a champion. This whole argument of number one contender was about who was going to challenge Kamaru until the kick hurt around the world. So now you got three guys. What do? You got three guys in one division. You have no guys up a division. What are you going to do? Henry Cejudo has suggested a possible remedy. Is he right?